can't focus anymore. And deep down you know it. You tell yourself, it's stress. You call it burnout. You blame discipline. But if you're honest, you reach for your phone without thinking. You switch tasks every few minutes. You can't sit with one thing without feeling restless. That's not random. That's conditioning. And it's been happening to you for years. It shows up in small moments. You read the same sentence 3 times. You open an app you didn't even mean to open. You start something important, then suddenly you're doing something else. At the end of the day, you feel drained. But if someone asked what you actually finished, you wouldn't have a clear answer. You feel busy, but not present. And here's the part that confuses you most. You rest and you're still tired. You sleep and wake up mentally crowded. It's like rest doesn't reach whatever is actually exhausted, because it's not your body, it's your attention. A few years ago, there was space between things. Not because life was slower, but because silence still existed. There were gaps your mind could use to process, to breathe, to reset. That silence is gone. The grocery line became scrolling. Traffic became content. The moment before bed became another video. Every empty space was filled, and your mind never had room to recover. You didn't lose focus overnight. It was taken in fragments. What happens to someone who never feels bored? They lose the ability to concentrate on anything that doesn't fight for their attention. Anything slow feels painful. Anything without instant reward feels impossible. So you start blaming yourself. You say you lack willpower. You say you're distracted. You say other people can do it, and you can't. But this was never about willpower. You were trained, not by accident, by platforms designed to hold your attention longer than you intended to give it. Your brain adapts to repetition, and you trained it to expect novelty every few seconds, to switch fast, to react fast, to avoid silence. That's not weakness, it's adaptation. The problem is now you expect that same brain to read deeply, to think long term, to build something meaningful, and it resists. There's a difference between being busy and being present. You've been busy, replying, consuming, reacting, always connected, but rarely fully there. Presence requires attention. Attention requires stillness. And stillness now feels uncomfortable. You don't want to be distracted. You miss being able to immerse yourself. You miss finishing something and knowing you gave it your full mind. You miss reading without drifting. You miss the version of you that could stay with something before everything became stimulation. Maybe the problem isn't productivity. Maybe it's that your attention was systematically captured. And getting it back doesn't start with a better planner. It starts with awareness, with realizing that attention is one of the most powerful things you control. And you've been handing it away piece by piece without choosing to. You're not broken. You're responding exactly as you were conditioned to respond. And seeing that won't change everything instantly, but it will change something quietly. And that's where control begins.